So in the past few weeks, I've been playing the Postal games. I was already well acquainted with Postal 2 and Paradise Lost. Both of them are one of my favorite games of all time. Both of them combined, I mean. And though I own one and the Redux, I never actually gave them a proper shot, and after replaying both of them, I can say I don't really like them. They get very old real quick for me, since all you do is just kill people from an isometric point of view. And I think it's a way too long of a game at times. I do appreciate what the first game stood for though. Postal 2 is a classic for me, and the first one I played, I could go on and ramble about my experience with Postal 2, Apocalypse Weekend and Paradise Lost and what they mean to me. How they helped me through my middle school / high school days. But that would make this video longer than needed. In short, I really like the game, and it's one of my favorite games of all time. Postal 3 I finally got around to play for the first time and... no. Just no. I do like the game's soundtrack and Postal 2's voice actor, but that's about it. Postal Brain Damage is super fun. As an arena shooter fan, I can really say this was an enjoyable experience and a very cool spin-off on the whole Postalverse. I guess you can call it that. Now we get to Postal 4. I got this game on launch and did not run on my PC at all. I had one of those shitty Dell Optiplex with no graphics cards, so no surprises there. Only around the end of 2020 when I finally got my first job, bought the PC parts to upgrade my rig, using it on top of what I already had at the time. And even though the game ran fine-ish, it still was a clusterfuck of a game. Glitches, bugs, and crashes galore. I think the game finally reached a more stable state around the time it left early access, back in 2022 I believe, but even then, it needed more updates. I only played until Wednesday, before other stuff called for my attention, and it was not until like the middle of June of this year when I was talking with someone in the server that I'm on, where they talked very harsh about Postal 4, and I thought they were unfair to it. I had never finished it, but I didn't think it was bad. Mediocre, maybe, but not bad. So I decided to play it again, and I was dedicated to finish it this time around. So without further ado, let's get into this. Postal 4 No Regrets picks up after Paradise Lost ending. Which one? The one where you just dip and don't kill any of the faction leaders and you and Champ just go on about your day on your trailer home.
Or maybe not.
Fuck 'em.
After a brief retelling of Postal 2's story, we finally see how our heroes are doing after Paradise Lost and what they have been up to. And they seem to be living a peaceful life. A quiet, peaceful life. Until they get their trailer home stolen. Because Postal Dude left the keys in it.
Crap.
And without money, food, anything really, you then make your way to the nearest city called Edensen, and that's where the story begins. You start off by picking up a piece of cardboard and a pen, choose your begging motto, and the game opens up the doors for you. Literally. To explore the world to your heart's content, or a portion of it anyways. After begging for a bit, getting denied, a kind soul gives you the advice to go to a job agency. You oblige to go to it, probably kill some people along the way, and you reach the job agency. You talk with the one and only Joseph Bellows, and the quality and level of professionalism is shown on display on the first 20 seconds. He whips out of his ass 3 job errands that are being a prison guard, working in a sewer, and capturing dogs and cats. And just like in good old Postal 2 fashion, you get some errands and, spoiler alert, they tend to go to shit and you're forced to commit heinous acts against the finest citizens of Edensen. The prison guard is honestly a very simple task. Show up, show you can read letters on the board, and you're hired. You get a brief orientation about the safe ways to neutralize inmates and less safe ways of neutralizing inmates. In classic Postal fashion, you end up releasing the inmates on accident and the whole prison goes on lockdown. In order to shut down the lockdown, you need to insert codes in 3 keypads in different sides of the prison. Easy stuff. All you have in your way are the inmates, and this is where you have the chance to be a pacifist or go postal. Use less lethal way to take down inmates or just kill them. And since I already enjoyed my Second Amendment rights, I decided to just play the game as normal. After inputting the codes, the backup arrived, I get notified that my earnings have been sent to Joseph, and I get the boot for having killed the inmates even though the ward approved of my methods. Second gig I chose to do was to get the stray animals, and after talking to a very colorful faceless man telling me about the job, I went on my way to collect sad animals. The cats were easy because you can just pick them up with your hands and keep them in your pockets. The dogs on the other hand, I had to string them along one by one, and it was boring to do so. You can give the faceless men dead animals, but since I already gave him a live cat, I won't be consistent with it, I guess. Dude in the van fucks off, and I make haste for my third and last gig of the day. Sewer cleaning. This is, by far, for me, the worst errand of the day. If fetching dogs was annoying, imagine having 3 errands inside of an errand. One is changing the light bulbs, the other is shoveling shit to unclog the pipes, and the other is to fix the sewer pumps and their valves. I can't stress enough how tedious the whole thing was, and there's no alternate way to complete this. You have to do these 3 things, and all you have to do that's mechanically engaging is kill the hobos in there with ya. And the rats. Doing this for a pacifist run was boring as shit. Glad I was playing normally. Changing light bulbs is basically you messing with the boxes and mess with the physics to pile one on top of the other to reach the light bulbs. Shoveling shit is exactly what the name implies. And the pump station is you getting 2 pieces 3 times and make the toxic water from under you gradually go down the drain. After that, you decide to check in a hotel booked by your job agency and rest in your 5-star room after a harsh day's work.
Crap.
And this was just Monday. Tuesday starts off with you waking up from your sleep and realizing you have been fined for public loitering and vagrancy, so you're sentenced to do community service, and you also get contacted by Joseph Bellows, informing you that due to issues on his end, he's gonna have to leave the country. But he hooks you up with an associate, and with that you have your 2 primary tasks: pay the fine and contact the associate. The first thing you hear when you start the day is that the town has been infected with a pigeon virus, called Pigeonavirus, a very unfunny joke on coronavirus, and that's why you see the NPCs walking around with masks and why you have pigeons on the box as a weapon. Reminds me of the cowhead in Postal 2, only this one's more fun to use, in my opinion. I chose to pay the fine first to get that out of the way. You get there, the cop gives you your task of finding cars. He even advises you to kick the parking meters, or you can just drop your fine on the little box, but that will cause the whole police station to shut down and the cops will get on your ass about it. You'll have to essentially shoot down every police there with you and tinker with the computer to lift the lockdown. Kinda like the prison one, but it takes less time for this task. I just do it the pacifist way, but that's because I needed a break from shooting and killing things. If you're wondering why you're watching me kill cops, it's because I did this on Monday to gain access to the police uniform, to bamboozle the cops and get all the weapons from the armory. So I'm just using the footage to show you what you could be doing if you went the other route. Anyways, you go around the area kicking parking meters, find cars, and then you go onwards to meeting your associate, and this is where the game introduces to you these fast travel signs that allow you to teleport between the 4 areas in the map. You move forward, you get hit with a cutscene, and then get hit with a guitar. You wake up and realize you've been kidnapped.
I hate to break it to you fellas, but I think I'm done with the whole GIMP business.
You meet your kidnapper / associate El Plago, the leader of the cartel Los Oscuros. He tells us he's responsible for the Pigeonavirus going around, and since we're pointed out by Joseph Bellows as the right employee for the job, I guess you gotta obey the man. You get given 3 tasks: deliver a package to an animal shop, tag a gang's turf, and smuggle immigrants over the border. I first went out of my way to get the hidden Postal 3 outfit from behind the cartel's base, since that's my favorite look from the Postal dude. I wish the bulletproof vest was not there. And then I made my way to the first errand, smuggling immigrants. Which is basically you catapulting immigrants over the border towards red nets that can pick them up. All the while you're doing it, you try not to get caught by the most incompetent border patrol ever and move on with your day. The other task I did was the pet package delivery. I like this mission for 2 reasons. One, the Breaking Bad reference, which for some reason had a lightning bug. It's supposed to look like this. I saved and loaded stated to see if that fixed the issue, but it just outright removed the lights, so yeah, fuck me. We deliver the package, but the chemicals inside the lab just fuck us up, and we wake up as a cat. The second reason why I like this mission: I'm a simple person. I like cat, and as a cat you get your own set of errands. Small easy ones, don't worry. One is picking up milk, others get some pussy. And the last one is to beat up a dog. Collecting the milk has no consequences, just go in and grab it and boom, job done. Just follow some stray cat down a sewer pipe and fornicate with it. And even though I find it somewhat stupid and funny, I do question if this is somewhat bestiality. And I question the dude's morals. You get ambushed by a bunch of other stray cats that got jealous of you for nailing the female cat, but you can just run past them and complete the errand. And the last one is you messing with the dog. Just claw him, run up the nearest building, get off the line of sight, rinse and repeat. After you're done, the postal dude wakes up, and it turns out all of this cat shit was just a dream, and you wake up on the street with an expired milk cartridge, the same one you picked up a while ago. Keep it. You're gonna need it. The last errand on the list is you spray tagging another gang's turf. You'd figure you have to deal with the other gang members, but nah, you have to deal with self-entitled SJWs. They are the ones that try to stop you from spray tagging for signs. You can paint whatever your heart desires, as long as it fills up the sign. Do that and the cartel sets you up with a place to spend the night. You get attended by totally not the same guy from the end of Monday, and you end up sleeping in a stable with a bunch of donkeys. And we move on to Wednesday. You are woken up by a familiar voice. Mike James Self is here. He is now the mayor of Edenson. He has a fascination with bidets.
And whatever happened to you being a giant mad cow demon?
Enough!
He also tells us that we caused a lot of issues for the population of Edenson yesterday, but we were able to get out of it scot-free thanks to him. And because of it, we are basically obligated to be his errand boy. So you know the drill by this point. The following errands are installing bidets, shovel shit, getting people to sign your petition for some crap regarding bidets, and crash the grand opening of the newly opened theme park. I chose to do the petition first since it was the one I already had on my hand, and I just do the pacifist way. Mainly because I wanted a gimp suit. If you want to do the pacifist way with ease, believe me, just get yourself the gimp suit, it'll make the mission easier. You also get the classic Postal 2 costume, which is great and all, but for some reason it also removed the Postal 3 costume from my inventory, which I didn't like. It's my favorite look, and it sucks that I could not get it back, not even redoing the rampage that unlocked it in the first place. Alas, I move on and went on to crash the grand opening of the Cunny amusement park.
Fuck.
You get there and you get the task to pull down the lever on 4 power switches to turn off the power in the whole park. What? Why only pull down the switches? Can't you just pull it back up? I don't understand the thought process behind this mission, but hey, it's your task there. The mascot and the DJ there are complete bullet sponges, so I decided to bribe them both, so that they didn't interfere, because the moment you pull down the lever, every employee in that park will come after your ass. And they are not hard to dispose of, but they are annoying in groups. Pull down the levers and boom, you're done with that. The errand I did next was shoveling shit out of town square. And you're probably wondering, how is that a hard task? It's not, but you have people there that are opposed to you cleaning it because they want the shit piles to harvest them. For some reason. Mike says for you to use a water hose, but no, just use a shovel. It's faster. It was annoying to deal with because you had NPCs shooting you from all angles. And then I had one shit pile that was remaining. I couldn't find it at first because it's fucking brown everywhere. And I guess I'm just partially blind. I guess. Shovel the shit and move on to the last errand. Install bidets in the toilet paper factory. I think this was my favorite one because it has a linear structure to it, and it's just you installing bidets in toilets and shooting the factory workers after installing said bidets. And after you install all the bidets, you have this adorable boss fight with this midget that's parodying that one dude from Game of Thrones, whose name I don't know since I never watched the show. I just abused the items that gave me power-ups, I consumed the catnip to slow down time, and drank a soda to dual-wield guns, and made quick work of them. Another day done, and Mike books us a cabin to spend our night in. We make haste to the ferry and get attended by totally not the same weird dude from Monday and Tuesday, and he sends us on our merry fucking way.
Hey, I don't have to pay for the return ticket, do I?
You wake up at the cabin after a good night's sleep, only to realize your shit's been stolen and your dog's been kidnapped. So your first main objective is to recover your inventory and save Champ. Your inventory is separated into 3 parts throughout the other cabins, and Champ is also being held captive in one of them. You start off all stealthy and stuff, but after I picked up the enemy's guns or recovered a part of my inventory, I just said fuck it and went ballistic on these people. Explore the map, recover your inventory and Champ, maybe notice these weird looking monsters that have weird programming to them, and get out. On the way down inside the ferry, you get ambushed by the mob, run by none other than Vince Desi. So now you're wondering 2 things. How and why is Vince Desi here, and how the fuck didn't the postal dude notice these much people in the ferry in there with him until the camera panned to them? The response to both is... Vince tells us that our actions from yesterday has made issues for the family and warns us that we should not fuck with the family.
I'm gonna make you an offer.
Can I just refuse it?
This ain't the movies, jerk off.
Another day, another 4 errands. Vote for the governor, test out the VR games, rig a race, and watch over a casino. I did the VR stuff first, which is basically just you going through obstacle courses. That's it. The other errand I did was voting. You have to place your weapons on the box at the entrance. and then go to your voting booth. And the voting booth just forces you to vote for the Republicans on all the options. The game does hint at you to just shoot your shot, and by that I mean just pick up the machete and kill security and get their guns and shoot the Republicans so that the Democrat can win. I, not being American and not caring much for it, just chose to do the civic way and went on my merry way. Hey y'all, Taco here. I'm going a bit off script here because I lost the audio where I talk about the race, so I'm just gonna be very straightforward with it. You get there to the arena and you get asked to pretty much just make sure that the guy in the red moped wins the race. You cannot win, nor can the other competitors. You gotta make sure you reach first place. If you fail to do so, you pretty much just leave the arena in a shootout because the guys in the stand are mobsters and they are out for blood because you cost them money. But if you make sure that the red guy reaches first place, congratulations, you get to leave the arena scot-free and you did a good job. And yeah, now that I got that out of the way, let's get back into the video and follow the script. Last errand is just you guarding the casino. I shit you not, this one is busted. The game runs like crap in this area, the NPCs can't articulate what they want you to help them with properly, it's cluttered. Do yourself a favor and just burn everyone alive. Kill them and the game will run much better. Vince tries to give you tips on what to do and what to handle and where, but there are no icons on the map to tell you where they are, so you just drift around the casino looking for them until you don't. First time I did this randomly, I just entered the safe room and all previous objectives just vanished because the anti-gambling protesters came in and set the whole place on fire. Vince gets on your ass to put out the fire and use the water hose to put out the fires throughout the casino while killing the protesters in your way. It was a very linear structure, which is good. After the clusterfuck that was when you first entered the casino, it was quite literally a godsend to have a specific path, and at the end you reach the casino safe, kill the remaining protesters, and Vince tells you to take the money from the safe as your pay. A good ending to a poorly made mission. I don't have a lot of positives to say about this day, and even though I went on a tirade, the casino errand is sadly the best mission in the game. Go figure. Vince tells you to meet up with him and the family, and just when the Postal dude formed his only smart thought about just bailing, the mob intercept him and force him to head inside the building, where the dialogue hints that he's being whacked. But in actuality, you just get taken to the casino suite and spend your night there. The scene ends with totally not the same weird dude from Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday handing you a drink. Hey, a good ending to a bad day, I guess. The end of the week is here upon us as you reminisce of the week you had. As you lay on the floor, Vince kicks you and tells you to meet his boss.
Wait a minute. Your boss?
Vince's boss calls himself the All-Seeing Eye, and when he asks him about our missing van, he says that he'll aid us, wants to do some errands for him.
Undertakings are complete, then my will shall have been proven immutable and without bounds. By the day's end, none who dare oppose me will.
Cool. Ooh, my bad.
We charge inspecting the dam, pacify the Merc Superior, which is that one soldier from Monday, and collect a specific treasure piece. I went to handle the Merc first at the mall. I like the mall, it just sucks that I wasn't able to access it earlier in the game. I would have liked to explore it. The Merc's leader is on the top floor, and you have energy barriers on your way preventing you from climbing up the escalators. You gotta follow the wires on the floor, unplug them from the generators, while also shooting up the other Mercs. Go up the escalator and face the Merc's leader, which, get this, it happens to be the Postal dude's ex-wife's sister. And she'll have the hots for you, and the mission ends with you fucking her.
Oh yeah.
Called prototype. Next mission I did was getting the treasure piece, Indiana Jones style, which was on an abandoned train station where you had to go underground and meet whatever the hell these idiots are. These people are guarding the treasure, and you have to go through them, through the tunnels, avoid getting crushed by the boulders that spawn behind you or the ceiling traps, see that the treasure's entrance is a glorified temple, get the treasure, and then get confronted by the gimps. What? What the fuck are these people here for? Honestly, it does not matter because just like the idiots that were guarding the treasure in the first place, you never see them again or their leader, so I'm not wasting my time on this. Run back through the way you came and leave. Mission done. I went to the dam to do my supervision task, and the moment I get there, the dam is being attacked by a group of eco-terrorists that just want to spread their toxin through the water. There's holes all over the place that we have to stop by placing items that conveniently are the same shape as the holes. I know it does not need to make sense, especially in Postal, but But is this really the best you guys could have come up with? Shoving boxes or bikes or dildos in holes? You stop the leaks, kill the bioterrorists, and you end up getting flushed down the drain by invisible leak. Yeah. Gotta love it when everything you just did is just meaningless and the outcome's still the same. All errands are done. That means the day is done, right? No. The all-seeing eye gets in contact with you, you demand that it tells you about your van's whereabouts, and it tells you to just have patience and finish the job by killing off all the faction leaders that you met throughout the game. It's just like the ending of Paradise Lost, and just like Paradise Lost, all hell broke loose as Doomsday is upon us, only just red sky and cats falling with people killing each other. The falling cats were bugged for me, so it just looked like a minimal effect. The faction leaders you would assume to be every last single one of them, but thankfully it's only those that bossed you around this past week. Kill Mexican Bane, Vince Desi, and Mike J. Mike J is a stationary boss fight that rarely moves on top of his mansion, and if you just go to the side he will stay in place and you can just nail him in the head over and over. Vince Desi and El Plago's fights are pretty much the same. Boss is in their office, their goons are in the way, kill them, and then the boss. I even use the same combo of consuming catnip to slow down time and then the soda to dual-wield rifles and gun them down. Afterwards, the all-seeing eye tells you it's time that both you and him meet, so that you can have info on your van. You get there and it's the postal dude's dad. Literally. They even pull a somewhat humorous "I'm your dad" joke.
Son, I am your
Father, yeah, I got that when you said son. Hang on a second. Aren't you supposed to be dead?
Are you referring to your stepfather?
Huh, yeah. I guess that does explain the grave thing.
You figure he would help you or ask you to join forces, but instead he plans on killing you, because you know you're the only one that can stop him. So final boss fight's about to happen. Or it would be if I chose not to skip it entirely. Remember that expired milk you picked up on Tuesday? Just place it on the table before the boss fight and boom, you nail him.
We're at the place called Climax, and the time called now. Lactose intolerance, my one weakness. But how did you know?
Just as you're about to fall, like your dad, the Merc comes in and saves you. She also vanishes like Batman. Why was she there? How she knew you were there? We'll never know. Honestly, the Merc deserves more screen time to make this somewhat compelling. You leave the casino with Champ conveniently spawning in the elevator with you? Okay. And you finally decide to get the hell out of Edensin. You're forced to take the long way. Always nice. On the final cutscene, just as Hope was about to die, totally not the same weird dude from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, just happens to have the same trailer home model, with the same license plate. How convenient. And just like that, you ride into the sunset with Champ. If you made it here, congrats. The following part is where I go ham with my critique on the game. So strap in, I got the loop, and I'm gonna give this game the railing of its lifetime. So after replaying this game multiple times, I'm going to address the elephant in the room. As you probably may or may have not noticed, I have the FPS counter there on the top left. That was no oversight. I had that there because this game's performance is inconsistent as hell. I was playing on a mix of ultra to high settings, but tell me, does this game look graphically intensive to you? The game looks like a PS3 game at best. That's not to say it's ugly, but it does look dated. So why does the game run at such an inconsistent pace? I don't have a beast PC, and you there on the other side are probably on the verge of typing, just lower the graphics, bro. And to that I say, yeah, you got a point. But I also would counter with saying, I get more consistent and better results with games that have more graphical fidelity, so what's this game's excuse? My computer also far exceeds the recommended spec requirements on Steam, and the game dips in performance on empty areas. I know that this game has no major budget behind it, and like I said at the beginning, I bought this game on launch, when it was early access. That was 5 years ago. It's not as bad as it was back then, hell no. Compared to launch, this game is way better optimized than it was. It has more content too. But you figure that after 5 years, optimization would already be fine-tuned by now. As I'm making this, FSR and DLSS implementation have been announced, and they are taking their sweet time with it. And I know that once that is out, it will help with performance, but that's not really an excuse as to why something that looks like this still has dodgy performance. I had the game crash a few times when I set NPCs on fire before. For some reason it didn't happen when I was recording, but if you set people on fire or have too much effects on screen, the game will crash and shit the bed hard. I don't doubt running with sailors will soon iron out this game, since they are passionate about this. but I just feel like they slacked a bit when it comes to making this game more optimized. The open world is now bigger than Postal 2's, which, makes sense. More technology opens up bigger opportunities. My problem? It's fucking empty, man. A larger world like this needs to be filled more, with more activities. There's only a few houses with little collectibles, and a few of these rampages that you do in exchange for a few items, dollars, or special collectibles. Thing is that it's not enough. The world needs more. I'm glad devs had the decency to add vehicles to the game, and I find charming that they have their radio stations. Well, two of them, one for metal and rock, and the other for techno/synth. But still, the songs and the radio commentary are charming. I hope they add more with different type of commentary and different hosts, and different genres of music. But in short, it needs more of a reason to be explored. You guys have a big map, don't be shy of adding more stuff to keep the player engaged. Cause right now it feels a bit bare-boned. The game structure. If you didn't notice in my change in tone, I found the last 2 days to be kind of a drag. I thought the errands were lackluster, there wasn't much fun to have with them besides killing people in various ways. It might be subjective, but I think Tuesday and Friday are the weakest points. Friday has better errands, but the overtime after the dam just kills it for me. It felt like a drag. I get that it's poetic justice that you kill all of them because of the shit they put you through, but it's just somewhat gut-wrenching that their boss fights are just not memorable. Paradise Lost did the same thing. But this was on the Unreal Engine 2.5 or something, so I think it gets an excuse because of its limitations. Hell, I believe in some aspects, a few of the fights there are actually better than the ones from Postal 4. While we're at the topic of boss fights, why don't we talk about the factions I talked about, the various enemies you make while playing this game, etc, etc. Do they actually matter? No, not really. The people you piss off, the various factions that you piss off, that it's shown to you throughout the game, or throughout the week rather, they don't have a leader or a representative for you to fight. They're just there for comedic value and have something to pester you throughout the game when you roam around. Also, the factions are kind of a step down from Postal 2's. Check this. Postal 2, we had terrorists, anti-game activists, animal activists, hunter, hell, fucking midgets were a thing. Zombies, demons, you name it, the variety was there. Meanwhile, Postal 4 we have Karens, hobos, crazy cabin people, more hobos. I think those people that you pestered while you were shoveling shit on Tuesday or Wednesday, the people from the dam, gimps, I guess, and the other people that you installed bidets for. As I'm writing this, I only remember the bidet people, the dam terrorists, and the gimps. But that's because one had an actual funny boss fight, or a funny presentation before the boss fight rather, and the other two had two distinguished leaders that the game did nothing with. Again, I don't find them bad, I just find them to be fodder, poorly utilized, and most of them failed to leave a lasting impression. I hope that Running with Scissors can add more supernatural elements to the game with future DLC, wink wink, Apocalypse Weekend 2 when. The humor of this game has also taken a hit. I don't think this game is as funny as Postal 2 or even 3. I still like it, but I can't help but to recognize that it's inferior. I think it's because they cut back on the more outlandish and raunchy jokes in place of a more cartoony approach. It's a very tame game that pokes fun at things but does not outright offend, whereas Postal 2 just said fuck that and had no issues insulting who they meant to parody. It's a more outlandish game, and that's probably why it was banned in various places and caused controversy during its heyday. The fourth game just has a more tame approach, which I do understand. Running with Scissors needs to put their games in various platforms and makes it available everywhere to make profit. Unlike how it was with previous games, they didn't have a publisher or anything of sorts to financially aid them. They are alone here. It's probably not the main reason. For all I know, they lost their oomph in the writing, but I want to assume that's the reason. To cap my negatives off, the Crotchy Doll collectibles. I like these little toys, but Jesus, finding all of them was a bitch and a half. I had to look online for all of them. I wish the rewards you get by collecting them were better and more worthwhile. I also wish there was like some sort of gadget you could buy or pick up that allows you to search for them with more ease. Well, I've been going hard on the game, but trust me, it comes from a place of appreciation and wanting the game to be better, because I have no doubt Running with Scissors will do their best to fix a lot of the elements I mentioned to make the game better. So, what did I like about the game? Well, the Postal dude. I like his cartoony humor and demeanor that he has in this game. It makes him look like a bigger idiot. He was originally voiced only by Duke Nukem himself, John St. John, but later Running with Scissors managed to get the previous Postal Dude voice actors to reprise their role. Rick Hunter from Postal 2, Corey Cruz from Postal 3, the one I chose for this playthrough while I was recording, and Zach Ward from the Postal movie. It's really freaking cool that they managed to get them to come and voice over for the game. I like the weapons, power-ups, and inventory you mess around with. Some are recycled, but the new stuff are welcome and are fun to mess with. I think Edensen, even though it's not Paradise, it's still a good sandbox to mess around with. Once it gets more side content, it'll be one of the best sandboxes to fuck around in the Postal game. The potential is there, it just needs more side stuff that crammed into it. All the callbacks, Easter eggs, and fan service that Running with Scissors inserted into this game, even though it's nostalgia pandering, it's a very nice touch. I really liked it. It's cool that Running with Scissors go out of their way to add all of this fan service into Postal 4. The shooting and melee have been greatly improved. The bar was not high to begin with, but shooting the guns feel great and comfy. It's a more modern feel, which I do believe it will feel comfortable for players to mess around with. Overall, like I said at the beginning, I like the game. I thought it was not as bad as I remember, to the point where I went out of my way to do all the achievements for this current build. It's not a polished, optimized, good looking game. It still has a lot of flaws, and I do believe it will still take time until it stops being under its big brother's shadow. But as of now, it's a fun game with a lot of content, love, and fan service to warrant a purchase and be played. There's a variety in the weapons, guns, and power-ups. It's cartoony and charming, and will without a doubt be better as the years go on. I hope Running with Scissors picks up the slack though. They have been very slow with the new updates. It's also been almost a year since you announced co-op. Hurry up with the DLSS and FSR implementation so you can get to it, you bastard.
What you know about rolling down in the deep when your brain goes numb? You can call that mental freeze when these people talk too much. Put that shit in slow motion, yeah. I feel like an astronaut in the ocean. Ay, what you know about rolling down in the deep when your brain goes numb? You can call that mental freeze when these people talk too much. Put that shit in slow motion, yeah. I feel like an astronaut in the ocean.